Welcome, everybody. We'll get started in a short minute. We're just allowing everybody to trickle in. And yeah, and super excited about today's session. I have a surprise that was also a surprise to me. Super excited to learn of what we have in store. And I hope that you guys will be as entertained and as I guess expand in your network as we will be after this session today. So excited about that part. And so let's see, we have everybody in, Mickey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So welcome everybody to Unlock Higher Education. Super excited about today's session. We have some great speakers. Just to give you a little bit of a history of Unlock Higher Education, it is a place where people can come and talk about the work that they're doing in the space of higher education and access to resources and opportunities for those who have been impacted or those who are currently impacted by the justice system. I'm excited to say that today we have reached an international level because we will be learning about not only what's going on in our nation, but also a work that is being done across other countries and internationally. And so that's a way to expand our network, expand our resources, but also expand our knowledge of the great work that is being done in spaces that are near, dear, or even afar from us. So today I'm excited to welcome one of our guest speakers. But before we do that, let's see, let me pause for a minute. And since we do have several speakers today, what I'm going to do is, Mickey, if it's okay, we're going to just go on straight into our speakers session so that we can give room for our additional surprise. And then we can later on open the floor for those who may want to talk about their particular work in their communities, and we'll do some follow-ups regarding some of the events that happened recently and some that we are looking forward to. So with that said, I will showcase our speaker for the month. Desiree, Dezi Speaks Riley is a mother, a creator, a community builder from Philadelphia who believes in the power of transformation through story, purpose, and connection. She is the founder of the MasterMind Cooperative, a growing network dedicated to healing, empowerment, and opportunity for people impacted by trauma and incarceration. Through her leadership, the organization bridges personal growth with community development, creating pathways for individuals to rebuild confidence, skills, and stability while nurturing collective care and resilience. I'll go on to say that Dezi is also the author of Felony to Freedom, Journey to Liberating an Institutionalized Mind, which is a deeply personal account that traces her evolution from confinement to freedom. She writes, continues to open doors and understanding for others walking in the path of transformation. She's also contributing author and colleague in Breaking Chains, Building Futures, Pathways to Redemption, Education, and Excellence, published by Wiley, which highlights voices shaping the national conversation on reentry, education, and justice reform. Her contributions bring lived experience into dialogue with innovation and compassion. Through projects like Project Phoenix, the Urban Green Resilient Hub, and the Second Chance Skill Building and Holistic Wellness Initiative, Dezi has designed spaces where people can rediscover purpose, learn new skills, and build sustainable futures. Her work has been recognized by the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, the Reform Alliance, the Ford Philanthropy Fellowship, powered by the Watson Institute. She is such an accomplished person. I'm so excited to know her. Dezi holds 2 bachelor degrees from the Ohio State University in Humanities and Social and Behavioral Sciences. She continues to build upon her studies in public policy and management. At her core, Dezi is a storyteller. She is a passionate storyteller, I may add, a connector who moves with heart. Her voice carries the rhythm of truth, healing, and growth. She walks in deep care for her family, her community, and the freedom to live life fully and honestly. Desi, it's been a pleasure to get to know you in this journey that we have been able to connect together, but also in learning more about the great work that you're doing in your community and beyond, being that you've given us now access to international work. But with all due respect and with no further ado, Desi.
Hello, everyone. It's always an honor to be here. I was not expecting you to reach out this week or last week and say, like, do you want to do this? I think we've done a session with LOHM not too long ago, Ladies of Hope Ministries, and I was a part of that panel. But to be on here as the speaker feels like quite a lot for me. But I'm blessed with colleagues like Judith and Mickey that remind us that we are the authorities on our stories and our lived experience is expertise, and it really helps me to shed imposter syndrome and feeling like I don't belong here. I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm always grateful for you all for reminding me of my power and the impact of the work that we're doing collectively. As you were talking, I was trying to go through my files to see if I could send some photos of our recent graduation for our Green Jobs Workforce Development Program. We just graduated 14 people from our Green Jobs program, which was a 6-week paid training program for people who have been formerly incarcerated and youth who are impacted by community trauma. So we started with 280 applicants. We put the call out. We ended up only having funding for 15. Well, we knew that in advance, but we decided to onboard 16 because it was really a thing about self-selecting. Like I gave every single person who wanted to interview the opportunity to interview. Couldn't say no to a single person. So we did end up onboarding 16. One person can complete, one dropped out. And so we still ended up graduating 14 over the course of 6 weeks. They learned composting, they learned landscaping, arborism, tree services, and they learned solar installation. If I could, I'm gonna just want to start dropping some photos. I'm so proud of them. It was an evaluation program funded by the EPA. They were paid $250 per week for 6 weeks. They had SEPTA, well, which is the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. They had sponsorships for their transportation. We had really good meals. We had childcare available for all sessions for team as well as for participants. Because myself, I'm a mother of five. My oldest is 20, but my youngest is 2. And so my little ones were there almost for every session. It was just a really good time. I love the idea of workspaces that prioritize work-life balance because mothers, we need to work. We shouldn't have to abandon our passions in order to care for our families. And so I do love the idea of shaping spaces that are inclusive for everyone who wants to be a productive member of society. Um, and so that was the idea behind the child care for that program. So I am dropping some photos. I'm figuring out how to do that. So these are just some candid shots from the graduation. It was just a really good time. And so one thing that's really exciting about this too, our facilitators, most of them are also business owners, and so they're able to onboard folks. And so having that pipeline to direct employment was really, really important for us in this grant. And we actually exceeded those expectations. It turns out that 4 of these young people are start today in solar panel installation with the organization called Solar States. They'll be getting paid $18 per hour starting as trainees. And when they go on to interns with the company, they'll be making $22 per hour within the next couple of months, those that stay on. And that's just one. We're going to be actually covering expenses for youth that want to continue on as apprentices with our composting instructor and our landscaper and tree services. So, I mean, it was a really impactful experience. They all received their OSHA 10 certification for workplace hazards and preparing them for that, CPR, AED, and first aid training. And so we just really covered a whole lot in a really short period of time. The data collected was phenomenal. The impacts are phenomenal. Some of the young people, one of the young ladies who was starting solar today, she was letting us know 2 months ago, like she lost her son. She lost, she wasn't able to, have her son with her. And it was nice to be able to see him come and play with the kids, at least during the day during that program. So outside of the green jobs, we also have a green space, which I'll drop some photos from that as well. It's located in a not far from Temple University in a relatively marginalized community in Philadelphia, Nicetown, Tioga area, 19140. Most people consider it a dangerous neighborhood if you're not from it. So I say relatively dangerous. Most people would be like, don't go there. I go there and I love it there. So I'm not going to say don't go there. Um, so we activated that space last July. We did a we called it the Green Wall Street. We had free vending, free food, of course, bouncy houses, open mic where people discuss how violence is impacting the community. We hired some young rappers from the city, the youth selected to come and highlight and just give them a really good time. Of course, we always love to throw up some tents. Like I love like outdoor day camping or something like that. So sometimes I throw up tents for no reason, but the tents were there. You know, one for first aid, one just to relax. You know, get some water. But it was just really a really good time. We're looking forward to doing more stuff in the green space this year. Um, One thing that's really exciting too is that during this Green Jobs program, three of the team that were working with us were members of our first cohort of our youth leadership development program called Project Phoenix. And so with Project Phoenix, that was with support from the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. So we focused on entrepreneurship, but it was basically to kind of see how economic interventions interact with therapeutic interventions. So we did a lot of like we spent a lot of time together. We went to the retreats. We went to Ohio last year, did aerial meditation, recorded podcasts, did some hiking, barbecues, and things like that. Just basically community building mixed with economic innovations. Like last year, they also got up to $2,000 in stipends for working with us for the summer. One person got a truck. That truck nicer than mine. A couple MacBooks, Acer computers, things like that. Just really trying to invest in them and what their visions are. It was our first cohort, so I kind of do too much a lot of times, hence the truck that I keep mentioning. I don't think we'll do that one again, but unless the funding is amazing. But they were three of those young people were actually a part of the team for the Green Jobs program. So they also got stipends. They also got their PPE, their Caterpillar, Timberland boots, really high quality everything. To me, I feel like high quality everything is very important. High quality food. Like the budget for food was always crazy. Definitely going to figure out how to work on that because I feel like we need to provide high quality experience. Free work boots, of course, your Caterpillar high end, Timberland Pro, very nice, very heavy. um, so yeah, it was very really exciting to see the smiles on their faces and seeing people like access like materials or even meals that they've never had, like eating Indian or like enjoying cannolis and chicken parmesan and lamb and just all the different things and just making sure that and a lot of times we had takeout trays or taking food home, and like you see people taking 3 or 4 meals home, like that's covering them for the next few days, and it just really really feels really good to provide high quality experience for folks, similar to how we experience. Like I feel like y'all set the precedent with P2P, unlike higher ed. Like y'all give us a good time when we travel, so it kind of like to me it like establishes a standard. Like just because we've been through things, just because we've been incarcerated, just because we've been through trauma doesn't mean that we don't deserve dignified meals, high quality experiences, and just an overall really good quality of life, because those are the things that like incentivize good behavior. Telling me I need to do the right thing by expecting me to eat trash and live poorly is not going to make your community safer. Like you, like someone told me on a podcast, like you become the job. You're safer when my life is better. Because if my life is not good, why would I behave to make your life safer? Like, we all need to be good. I think it was MLK that said, no one's free until we're all free. And quite literally, like, if I'm struggling, how do you expect it? How sustainable is your wellness? How sustainable is your good quality of life? Eventually, we're going to come in to see what you got going on over there. I feel like it's basic science, right? So, just making sure that people have access and, they're able to like touch those different experiences and making it really real for them has been really important for our work. And so, I would like to introduce two of our fellows that have just joined us today. One has joined us from Peru, and she actually makes really high quality pet pet products that are eco-friendly in Peru. They use sustainable materials. They do all these things. And I was like so impressed by it when I saw the bio. And until I met her in our first Zoom meeting when she was still in Peru, I didn't realize that she was actually teaching women who are incarcerated in Peru to make these products. Mine was blown. Like nowhere in her bio, like initially in the little blurb, did they send like saying that it was women who were incarcerated. I'm like, this is so much in alignment with what we do. And here also on the call, we have Alfonso. He went to another room, but he's from Panama and another genius. He takes electronic waste, so waste, which is really stuff that we consider trash. One man's trash is another man's treasure. He takes electronic waste and converts it into materials that are needed to build incubators for small farmers in Panama. So like he's literally building sustainable materials with things that others are just throwing away. So then like eggs are expensive, like meat is expensive. Like this is protein. Like we need protein to live. And so it's literally like he's using what people are discarding to making like life sustaining devices. And I'm just really mind blown by their genius. They're here as high level professionals that we're learning from. They have plans to do networking events here in Philadelphia and workshops directly with the community. And of course, those of you that know my story, I've lived in Belize for a couple of years. I lived in Mexico for a couple of years. I've lived off grid. I've been in the bush, and I recognize how a lot of the ingenuity that exists in other spaces and other countries, that we need to learn from that here. Because if situations were to go south for whatever reason, whether it's a natural disaster or whether it's economic disturbances, like we don't always have the skill sets that are required to be sustainable or sovereign, let alone to thrive in abundance, but to even just like survive. And so I'm very excited about what we can learn from our partners across borders. And so I'm Elizabeth. If you are open to introducing yourself, I can come over there and turn some lights on for you, or you know, you can, of course, of course. Yes, please come here. Elizabeth, she's a genius and she's so humble. She's a humble, sweet spirit. So please come in. Here she is. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here sharing with you. I was listening and I'm excited because the work I do is related with women in prison. Well, I'm the co-founder of Titi, is the name of my brand. This is an innovative pet product based in Peru. And this started with a personal experience because in the pandemic time, I rescued a kitten and I called Titi, and he inspired me to create this brand because I see there wasn't many sustainable pet products in the industry. And I think about that and I started this project. Uh, I have a partner and we start develop one product and we want to have this product with sustainable and local materials in Peru, and also work with different groups that are in a vulnerable situation. So we start working with the communities in the Amazon because they have this natural resource that is the natural rubber from Peru. This is a tree that is in the jungle in the Amazon, and the native communities produce this material in a sustainable way. So we use that to manufacture our toys. We have four different products in this line, but also we want to. Yes, I have my products in my bag. Some of them. Yeah, that's. Thank you. This is the brand. This is the. I have many of my products here. This is the brand Titi, as my cat name. And for example, the rubber products are these ones. This is a brush made of the natural rubber. It's a non-toxic product, it's more durable, and also it helps the communities because they produce the material and we manufacture this to obtain this product. And also this is a leak mat. It helps to the food of the pets. And the other lines that we work with the women are these ones. We have many of these because they produce this in jail. For example, these accessories. This is like a bandana, and the pets, you can regulate here the size. And this is for this. for the necklace. And we have many. We start with just one prototype, and then we start making more size, more colors. On from this is for here for the necklace. It's a necklace, and we have the toys that are made with crochet technique. They also are made in jail by the women's. They make this on jail, and we provide them all the materials that they have. And also at the first time, I go to jail and make like a workshop to the women to uh, give the materials, and also to uh, give the instruction how can they make these products while they are in jail. And now we start working with one women, and now we work depending of our production. Maybe can be 5 or 8 women that produce all these products for our brand. And yeah, we develop many of these. For example, this is another one. This is for cats, and we try to use natural materials that the product can be not toxic for pets, and we want to take care of the pets, but also have an impact with the society, especially in this case with women that are in prison, to give the opportunity that they can get an additional income, and also to have more skills during our process production for these products. Yeah, that's the work we do. I started the company in 2020, at the end of 2020, and now we are working on scale the brand and sell more abroad Peru. So I think this is a huge opportunity for us to expand our company, and also the impact behind every TT product.
Yes. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Maybe Alfonso can go
Thank
next.
you, Elizabeth. I have one question for you, Elizabeth, real quick. How did you get to manage the accessibility to an inside institution to be able to provide that work training for the ladies, and then for the ladies to be able to give that product so that they could be, accessible outside to the community?
Yeah, I started when was the pandemic time, and there were, I think, it was an opportunity because we can communicate uh, by phone, not necessarily in person, but I looking for a person that can connect me with the prison in the place I want to work, because it's not a prison in the capital of Peru. It's a prison outside the capital in my region that is called Junin, and there is a prison for women there. And I start a contact with the person in charge of the work in jail. There is a person that because in Peru is there is a law that allows people and promotes the work in jail. So there is a person that is in charge of this. So I connect with this person that is a police woman, and I tell about my project and the work I want to do with these women. And she get the permission that I can go to the jail, and I visit the jail um, one the first time I remember, and the women didn't know anything about this like to make this. They haven't any idea how to do it, and I take a course, so I teach them for like a workshop for a day, and I give all the materials, and we learn to make the better products, because at the beginning it wasn't easy. We make many mistakes in the production, but after many times, we were um, getting more better products, and now we have like a basic process, and it's easier for us to work together because we have the process during all this time.
That is phenomenal. Congratulations. You've been able to breach that gap and be able to access, the talent that's inside and bring it to the masses on the outside and also bring it to our knowledge here in the States. So thank you for sharing your story. Phenomenal. Phenomenal
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to share with us.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Okay, so good, so good. Okay, so y'all can see why I'm like super thrilled to have them here. Like I'm like, I told Elizabeth we was on Zoom, I'm like, yeah, I would wear this. And I would wear this collar. So as you were discussing, like we're just trying to figure out what is transferable to this market. So she's going to be helping us develop a minimal viable product that we can potentially develop, work with the youth here or other folks here that have been formerly incarcerated, and bring to market in this space. And I also want to introduce the amazing Alfonso Rangel. He is so his project is a bit more um it's interesting as far as figuring out its transferability in Philadelphia. So right across the bridge in Jersey, you'll see chickens and things in folks' backyards. Like it's a cultural thing. Like it's a very diverse community. You'll see like it'll be everywhere. But here in Philadelphia, we've done a research, and it might be Pennsylvania, but it's harder to access having chickens right there, just right across the bridge, right across the river. In another state, they can do it. But here, he's done a lot of research before he even landed as far as how we bring his skill set, and we just have a lot. We were just at Home Depot and all kind of things like researching and doing that R&D. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we come up with because Pennsylvania is not trying to let you have chickens here unless you're like a developer or some type of large scale farmer or landowner. So without further ado, here's Alfonso.
Hi guys, how you doing? Well, yeah, I'm Afonso from Panama. I have a company called Incubator 21. We are a company that manufactures incubators, so everybody can have their own farm at home. It started during the pandemic. My grandma, she asked me for an incubator because she was selling eggs to people that lose their jobs to feed them. So she asked me for that. I didn't know anything about agriculture. I was a programmer, just like that. But I built the incubator for her. It was successful. It built what she wanted, and then everybody else started asking me for that same type of machine. And I discovered that the same issue that my grandma had, it was the same for everybody else in Panama and Latin America. And so we started delivering those machines. It's technology in which you put eggs and you get chickens. That's it. But for farmers, it can increase the production by 300% and allow them to feed their families, to create more foods, to build a future for them. People are using that as a second line of work to create profit, and most of them are helping their communities to just feed them. It's food production, and that's what I'm looking for. Now, when I am in main goal is to create something that fits people in their houses in a very sustainable way. And yes, we use recycled products to build those incubators because we want to build technologies in our areas, in Panama, in Latin America, in the US, and so we can like give people jobs too, and I don't know, make something sustainable that lasts throughout the time. And well, right now with this kind of project, we've helped more than 25,000 families. And yes, we started as a business, but like 2 years in the run, because we are 4 years in the market, we discovered that we were helping communities, that we were helping women that needed our product to feed their childs, to be a leader for their families. So right now we have over 2,000 farms in Panama, um, that they are leadered by ladies, and the 50% of them are earning more than $3,000 a month. Consider that we are in a country in which the main person just earned $700.
Yeah.
So right now they are making a profit, they are helping their families, and they are getting a quality of life because of our product.
Yes.
So thank you.
Wow. I'm like,
Mind blown.
I don't know what to say, Alfonso. That is phenomenal statistics,
Thank
but
you.
also phenomenal, results. Can you tell me a little bit more about the families, what they look like? What is their, what are the similarities that they have? What kind of demographic is it that you're able to reach and help succeed?
Yeah, sure. I discovered that half of our customers, like 60%, were women, and most of them were getting our product for business. Most of our customers are getting it like for food production, but ladies, they were using it as a business. I discovered that, and then 80% of those ladies were single mothers. I come from a family of women entrepreneurs, so I understood the struggle of trying to make a business but not having the resources and the knowledge. So that's it. They are most of what I'm trying to attack are the struggles of single mothers in Panama and Latin America, because it's the same in most of our countries. And yes, they are looking at us as another opportunity to grow. So we have for example, you buy our incubator, in 21 days you get your chickens, and then you can do your business. But with those kind of ladies, we follow them throughout 6 months, so we make sure that their businesses are working. We connect them with their communities. In Panama, for example, you don't have to pay taxes. In chicken poultry, you don't have to pay a lot of things, and you can have around 500 chickens in your house without paying any taxes. So it means 500 chickens, 500 eggs every single day. In a year, you are making a lot of money, and they are sustaining their lives with that. So yeah, we connect them with markets, communities, so it's easier for them to make a business and make sure that it's a business. It's something that helps them to grow.
That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. Not only are you helping a community, you're helping a community that is at one point had lacked of resources. You've been able to link them to having access to the resources, the knowledge, and now the productivity, and therefore a sustainable life trajectory. So thank you for that. That's phenomenal work. You guys are doing some awesome work overseas. And again, we are a community of linking and building bridges. So let us know how we can help you tap into those resources or that model or those opportunities here in the States, so that we can support our underserved communities better.
Sure, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and to Mastermind too, because we're looking into making the research on how we can transfer those knowledge here. And well, in these 30 days, trying to leave a mark and leave something that helps the community. Well, I love the place, so trying to make people's lives better. So thank you very much.
Here I come. Here I come. Thank y'all so much. So you see why I'm like super excited over here. It's just I don't know, it's just a lot. So, again, he did a lot of research and we discovered that in order to have chickens in Pennsylvania, apparently you need to have like multiple hectares of space, which is multiple acres, something that we don't have access to right now. The green space is not big enough. And if any of you have seen the green space, it's large. So, it just really shows like how the system is structured up many ways, apply policy wise to kind of like, you know, provide these barriers to entry for multiple like to sustainability. And so we're talking about going right over to Jersey to see if we can, do some more research as to how, like, what is the noise like there? They say it's because of noise and you don't want to be far away from neighbors, but just right across the bridge, they're doing it. They're having chickens. And so maybe we'd build something. Maybe it's something that we have to market in Jersey instead of Pennsylvania. But we were also having a larger, broader conversation about putting together an evaluation of what they analyzed during their time here to see if we could come up with some type of proposal or some type of narrative or some kind of, even if it's just collecting content for policymakers for they can realize like the detriment that they're doing to us by not allowing us to, engage in sustainable practices in the state of Pennsylvania. And so if you all are in states that allow folks to have chickens on their property, I would love to connect Alfonso with you all because this is work that'll be going on well beyond the 30 days. They're also offering us an opportunity to go and visit them in their home countries, and to continue to broaden and deepen that relationship and to see what we can collaborate on, for years to come. So very excited about our relationship, the mastermind, and the World Affairs Council. And so what else? What else? Do y'all have any questions for me? I feel like I've just been talking and talking and things. So,
I do have a question. I have
okay.
many questions because this is so exciting news. And so it's amazing to me how, in other countries or spaces or places where the resources are so much more limited in a sense as they are here in the States, that they've been able to establish such well organized, productive stream to help those that are marginalized or those who have less resources, and particularly teaching those skills on the inside for those who are incarcerated. So I ponder on that, and I kind of wonder, Desi, how do you see those accesses and those skills being able to be implemented here in the States? I mean, there's some great work happening at the level of incarcerated students. It can't be enough. I think we need to strive for more. But seeing that they are part of a much larger result of an industry growing in their country, how do you see those components translating here to the States?
I think that's an excellent question. I feel like, oh, like education itself, as a process, and particularly formal education, is a tool to like personal development, professional development, and transformation. As we see, like in chat, people that juvenile lifers, like the Malcolm X syndrome, they call it or whatever. Like it's just like amazing, like the greatness that comes through that process. But I always say, like entrepreneurship is like it's like the most tangible form of freedom, like to make something and be paid for it, like set your own price, and you're like working as hard as you're getting income based on like your level of work and how you price your products and the quality and your level of integrity and how you market yourself, how you present yourself and being your business. And I think that mindset, I'm an entrepreneur is great, and we know it exists in hustle culture in the States. But I love when I see like people that come from regions that don't have, all the resources that we feel like we might have here in the States. But their genius and their ingenuity, like I'm in the Amazon. I'm getting rubber in the Amazon. Like you were hearing her say this, Elizabeth saying that she's getting rubber. Like these, like y'all could feel this. This is quality. It's just such, she's talking about, I don't know where they got this in Amazon. We have so much to talk about, honestly. We have like the quality of this stuff. Getting this in rubber in the Amazon. Like this is it's remarkable. And I want to ask her, like, were you formerly incarcerated? Like, why do you care so much? What made you decide to reach out to those women? Like, it's just so many more conversations to be had. And like we don't really think about the reentry work and the preparation work that happens in other countries. Like there are some countries that recently they just allowed them to be educated behind bars. But for many years, like they weren't even being able to be educated behind bars. And so seeing that, and I'm like telling her about ban the box, and I'm explaining to Elizabeth and Alfonso about the Pell Grant and how Dr. Andrews was talking about he would love to see 60 to 80% of people behind bars like getting degrees and like all these different things. And we think about other countries like, wow, though, like they're not doing that. They don't have Pell Grant. Like what? Like, and so I'm just learning so much. And it's a humbling experience to see like I couldn't come up with this if I wanted to. let alone like I could probably buy some rubber off of eBay right now. You know what I'm saying? It could be delivered to my door by tomorrow morning, and I still would have nothing, no idea what to do with it. You know, I'm just so it's just like the level of genius that comes from people. Like I told you, I lived in Belize, and I was down there. I was pregnant when I had freedom. Of course, I was pregnant when I had freedom, but I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant when a hurricane came and we're down there, water was out, electricity was out. You know, you had your gas because everything's like butane or propane, you know, if you want to heat up something on your stove. But like there was no utilities or whatever for days. And the society was fine. The bridge was out. People figured out how to go a few miles and go. People's house went down the hill. People supporting each other. You know, the river, like it was a lot, but they just knew how to function. They didn't even have to get ready. They stayed ready all the time. And I was just so impressed by a lot of times Americans feel like through our lens of American exceptionalism, the other countries are that, oh, that little business or that little this. I'm like, no, like they're doing much better work than you're doing. Like you may have more money or whatever, you know, this sense of entitlement that we carry around the globe with us as really poor global citizens in most cases. But I just feel like if people really got a chance to not just connect with people like, you know, like how we're doing like this, but go into their countries and really realizing like, how in many cases they're much more decent people than we are. Yeah, in many cases they're much more decent people than we are, much more hardworking, family values on 100. Like it's always, I mean, I just feel like I can just go on and on and on about what I've learned abroad firsthand. And I'm just always grateful to have these experiences to learn from people. Like, what's this stuff that they're making? Like, there's literally there's no errors and no blemishes. Like the quality, like I can't wait to see what it is that Alfonso's making. He said he made an incubator. He was a programmer. Like he's not even in the room right now. I'm assuming a programmer means he was working with computers. And his grandma or auntie said, I need an incubator, and he just made one.
They made
Like
one.
any young man you know is out there going about to make an incubator for their auntie. I'm just gonna make you an incubator. And so like I mean just the brilliance. I mean, this is so cute. Like I'm gonna ask her if she can make me one out of leather, to be honest. It probably doesn't I'm just like, you know, so I'm just super, super impressed by this level of work that they're putting out. Humbled that they decided to come and spend time with the MasterMind Cooperative. Just really excited about the minimum valuable products we're able to develop. Excited about the policy recommendations we can offer to Pennsylvania over stupid policies like we can't have chickens. Like across the bridge, they got chickens in the backyard. They got less shootings than we do. Like, how about these gunshots? Why are you worried about whether chicken is making noise? What about these gunshots? Y'all worried about chickens in the backyard. Like, no, let people create their own eggs. Like, let us get the protein. Like, maybe the community will be better if we focus a bit more on sustainability. Like, and so just in a conversation happened organically in a Home Depot. So if they're able to put that analysis out and we're able to really get some type of feedback that we can contribute to Pennsylvania, I'm really excited about what the next what are we 6 weeks whatever, you know, they'll be here to the end of May. Unfortunately, before our next summer program starts, we'll be hosting 50 youth from the city of Philadelphia in green jobs as well as other services like hair braiding, things that are like net zero impact on the planet. So you know, services and trades. And so I feel like I've gone on a lot, but just really excited about the future and what happens. And this work's gonna keep going until I die. So it'll change a lot, you know, continuous improvement is the goal. And so really the Mastermind Cooperative was me finding a way to fund all the shit that I like to do and you know make my own job because we know it's hard to find a job as somebody with a record, you know, regardless of how many degrees you got. So it just made my job, and I'm really really grateful for it. I want to cry about it. um I'm grateful for people like Elizabeth and Alfonso and Mickey and Dr. Stan and Judith and people that are on here listening and seem to care, and maybe it's more sustainable than I thought it would be, and just grateful and humbled and honored, and I think that's about it.
I mean, you brought me to tears. Because you're right, you're right. It's so many times, I mean, we focus on a pathway of, let's say, you know, having all of these degrees, all of these educational level components, which obviously they are helpful, but a lot of the times not enough to open that door of sustainability.
Yes, yes.
Many professionals having a record, unfortunately, end up being either unemployed or underemployed. And so when do we allow ourselves to really be in align with our work, our skills, our experience, our educational level? And that comes a lot of times, as you mentioned, with entrepreneurship, having that side gig or having your own business, because a lot of times that it really is the only opportunity that we really have, Desi. And so this is why it's so common with people, for people with records to have those entrepreneurship mindset, because they have to pivot, they have to reinvent themselves. I always say, reentry to me has been a reinvention. You have to consider those soft skills that are transferable and be able to implement it in a place, in a space, and that it's more accepting of your background,
Yes.
and allow you to succeed personally and professionally. So yes, that gig experience, that entrepreneurship mindset sometimes is the only pathway to reentry, to successful reentry, as many may see it.
Yeah, sometimes like I dream of getting a PhD one day. I dream of finishing my education. Like I was 5 classes from finishing my master's before I was incarcerated. Like I dream of it, but it's like as a mother of five, I'm just like, I just need to make sure that, I'm just like alleviating the poverty, at least at home first, in the broader community, and building a system so that they, we can just have a decent quality of life. And then I'm like, okay, then I can just have the capacity to focus on like going to class and spending time on campus and all the things that I just will make my heart so happy. And eventually maybe crossing the stage again. But until then, it's just like, my head is down. I'm just trying to, build what I can for the family and the broader community. We got you on mute, Judy. Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. We will take these last few minutes that we have for any open questions or any remarks that any of you may have for these wonderful speakers that we've had today. Surprise speakers, some of them, but definitely a much more welcoming experience and learning experience as to what's capable when you have that, not only the entrepreneurship mindset, but also that sense of perseverance that comes in this journey. So we'll take some questions if anybody from the audience wants, has any. Norma, if you're trying to speak, I think you're
Yeah, I
oh,
wasn't mute,
oh,
but you know what? Hi, how's everybody? I was trying to wait because I came in late. I so busy working, and I was in the middle, and I was like, "Oh my God, my you should see, you should see." I hope my boss don't go back and read that half letter I just wrote because she gonna be like, "What did she just write here?" But first of all, Desi, I want to tell you, in chat, I met you. I went to your conference and you just brought the spunk just like you have it now, okay? And this is why today I really wanted to get here because with Judith, when we're on the computer and we're talking, but just to see everybody like at in chat, it was such an amazing experience. But you know well, like I said, I came in late, but Desi, I heard a little bit of what you're saying, and it's like, the fight that you have, just do it. Like with me, like, you know, with us living where we live, like we take a lot of things for granted until you start to see. And that's what I promised myself once I got off parole, that I was going to go to a different country and just learn that culture. And that's what I've been doing. And when I tell you, I be so amazed. But you know what? The different countries, you know what they remind me of when I was in prison? And you know what we came up when we had to make a meal, when we had to take excuse me, fellas, but the end of the tampons and do our eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? Like it reminds me of, the survival skills that I learned behind the wall. But Desi, I wanted to say this to you too, was that, I come home too and I finish up a certificate that I needed, and I get the good job, right? But I'm struggling right now because is like I want to go back to school, and with me working with students, like I miss it so much. But I got like 5 years to retire. My job's gonna go. And so I was so glad to hear you say that because I was really struggling. And I'm like, do I go back to school or do I help? Because this is what I love. I love going up into prison, telling them young guys, like, let's do this. And I'm here. I meet you here and I'll meet you at the door when you get out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I love doing that. And you know what? You just kind of like the reinsurance that you gave me. And in 5 years when I retire, guess what? I'll finish that my degree up and then I'll walk across that stage again. Again. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I can say again, because I've done it already one time.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you. And just, you know what? Just keep your like when you was at NCHAP, you should have, I don't know if you remember me, but I was sitting there like, yep, like you're enthusiastic, like just the way you talk, your energy, you bring it to them. And I like that energy because that energy kind of matches me. I love people with energy. So thank
Thank you,
you.
Miss. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Definitely. I definitely see a reflection in you. So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And Judith, thank you too. Like, thank you for this platform, Judith. Like, honestly, like this platform has, you know what, even when I feel like sometimes like I think I don't deserve it, I shouldn't be here, I could come in here and this platform always, it just empowers me. It really does. So thank you.
We're only as good as our team, and you
Mhm,
being part of our team is what keeps us going, right? It's comments like that, it's experiences like that that we see we're helping others, and others helping others is like a exponential spread at that level that Desiree brings, that level of energy, so that we not only encourage ourselves but continue to move forward. Because I always
mhm,
say this is hard work, this is a slow to progress work, this is not
mhm,
easy. And so we want to be that space of comfort, that space of belonging, that space of connections, that space of encouragement, that space of personal and professional growth that you can always know that people are going to show up for.
mhm.
So,
Yes.
Right.
all right, guys, I think if there's anything, I'm super excited about everything that I've learned today. I'm super
Mhm,
excited about, those businesses and those ideas that are really brought into fruition in other less resourceful places. It just brings us the drive to make sure that these things are happening in our communities as well. If it's happening elsewhere with much more limitation, many more limitations, I think that we can really push for these things to happen in our space. Desiree, let us know how we can support you in that legislation that you want to push, forward with Philly and the changes. And and again, let us know how we can expand the work that is being done, expand the knowledge and access and word of that work that is being done with you and your community friends
mhm,
and members. Because again, it's all about education in the sense of not only the practical part, not only the classroom part, but also the actual implementation part. And access and growth, that is the cutest thing.
Through her bag. I don't even know what it
Jeff
went,
is
but it
like,
was
I
so
think we
fun.
can wear that.
I know.
Shit, look, they got a ball in here. Oh, this is heavy. This
Look
is
at
like a,
that.
I don't, this is like heavy. This is like dense
It's,
rubber.
it's mind blowing how they've been able to like manage going to the Amazon, right? To get this product and get this, access to these ladies inside so that they can get this done
So
from
they
a
can,
from a
I mean, the
limited
branding.
setting,
yeah.
having that link, that bridge, it's about bridge building, you know,
Mm-hmm.
being
Yeah,
that bridge.
I dropped her. Oh, this might be a piece of the leather or something. I'm in her bag. I'm put it back. But no, so
So I
but
see, is
so I
that the
dropped our
Instagram
Instagram.
link?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
the
the link?
Instagram. So if you go on there, you'll see the graduation. Yep, yep, you'll see the great graduation. We're also citywide climate resilience plan partners. So we had a listening session with the community on Saturday. That was great. That's on the Instagram. It was really nice. And we gave people $50
Mhm.
stipends for coming, cash, always
Awesome.
good food. So yeah. We're working on, all the sustainability stuff, like making it accessible to people from our community. We deserve to go green. It's not just for rich people.
That's
We
right.
deserve to have access to sustainability, survivability, and sovereignty on all fronts because no one deserves it more than we do at this point, in my mind.
Yeah.
Hey, Desi, have you ever heard of Neighbor to Neighbor?
No, no, I haven't.
So it's a new organization that we just actually got in touch with that is actually like works with the community that does this type of work and bringing their legislators and all them involved because they're actually trying to get like a garden in Holyoke. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
maybe
Yeah,
I'll actually um
okay.
I'm
I'll put my link.
actually gonna yeah I'm
I'll put
gonna
my
put it.
link too. And it has my contact information, like my email, phone
Yeah,
number, and
add
stuff is
your
on my link.
email and I'll get you neighbors to neighbors information. Maybe you can even talk because there's some really good people because we've been trying to get our students involved with it because they do a lot criminal justice, but it is all based on what the community wants. So that's what they fight for and get you involved with it. So and they allowed them to have that garden in Holyoke, but they brought in a few legislators that helped them with it too.
Okay,
So
okay. Thank you so much.
okay,
I'm looking them
perfect.
up
See,
now.
that's what this space is about.
Yes, I'm gonna take
Connection and
it,
building bridges.
It's
and
not
I'm gonna
far
send you
either,
the
though.
information.
That's close. It's not far from here at all. Are you in
What's
PA?
that?
Are you in PA?
No, me, no, no, no. Oh no, I know it's in Springfield. No, I'm in we're in Western Mass.
Okay,
So
okay,
Western Mass. Yeah. But you know what?
Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts. But guess what? They do Zoom. They do Zoom. So I mean,
Okay,
even if you just went in, I'm gonna send you the information. And matter of fact, I'm gonna call somebody who I know, and just for you to just listen, even to just listen and listening to some of their suggestions was really good.
okay, okay. Are you far from Boston?
Nope. So Core is based out of Western Mass, which is the Holyoke Springfield area. But I actually live in Boston. So I
Okay,
do live in Boston. I live
okay.
in Boston and I commute just once a week out there. Like I have to go tomorrow.
If you're not already connected with Supreme Hassan from the Repairing Harm Conference, I would love to connect you with him. They're also part of Bridges, Eagles Building Bridges at Boston College. And
Oh,
that would be a great, like, he's phenomenal. He was leading the conference for 12 years from Behind Bars, Repairing Harm Conference. Did the second one in Boston last year. I went. He's been a facilitator for MasterMind Cooperative. Just an amazing person in restorative justice space, juvenile lifer, Supreme Hassan. I would love to connect y'all.
yes, do that because you know what? We actually heard them. We was at the State House last week and Boston College was there talking about their program. They have an
Eagles Building
excellent.
Bridges,
Yes,
phenomenal.
Build the
He was
Bridges.
that
Yes,
the
yes, they
founders
have.
members of that they came up with the Constitution together. Like it,
Yes,
like definitely got to connect with them.
yes, they have an excellent program. We was trying to get them because you know they only do prisons, but we was trying, we do jails. So we was trying to say, but we was like, why can't you come into jails? Like, so yeah,
They
and
should.
but guess what? Because we asked that question, guess what? It went on record because they
Yeah.
only do prisons and we wanted jails. So
Next
let's
step.
see.
Next moving fast. Well,
Yes,
continue.
Talking about bridges, guys. I know we're a
yes.
couple of minutes over.
Over.
You can continue
Yeah.
Sorry.
on the conversation, but I just want to
Thank
close out
you.
by saying thank you so much to the speakers that we had today. The surprise speakers was because this was a surprise from Desi herself. So thank you for always being that bridge.
Yeah.
Connecting people and the work, the real work that's happening out there. I want to remind you guys, if you have the opportunity to attend the Horizon Conference coming up, that's also another avenue for networking and learning about resources and what's happening out there, not only in the educational space but also in the workforce development space. It was so awesome to see you, Norma, in person.
Thank you. I know.
It's
Yes.
amazing how when we meet in person,
Good.
like these Hollywood squares just take a
Good.
different
Yeah.
tone in a different meeting. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and with that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the week.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. Love y'all. See you soon.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.